So Kawhi Leonard, we all knew he was pretty much going to re-sign with the Clippers, but he signs a 4-year, $176 million max deal to stay with the Clippers. And I said we were going to talk. I said I was going to talk about this, and now I can't pretty much hold it off. Kawhi Leonard is an incredible player. He's an incredible player. He is arguably the best two-way player in the league. He is an incredible talent. He could be one of the top 10 defensive players ever as far as on-ball defense. Kawhi Leonard is just that good. And it makes sense. I understand why anybody would give Kawhi Leonard a 4-year, $176 million deal. I understand that. But the question is this. And it's hard to fathom it a little bit, but is Kawhi Leonard worth that much for the Clippers? Oh, you know what? Let me say, is Kawhi Leonard worth that much as far as his production? Kawhi Leonard won a championship with the Spurs. He also won a championship with Toronto. Now, excuse me. When you look at that championship with Toronto was an incredible team. He was, of course, the leader. When you have him, Kyle Lowry, Danny Green was playing good. OG Anunoby came and he was playing good. Pascal Siakam was playing out of his mind in the finals. Serge Ibaka was very important. They won a championship, and of course, he was the best player. He was their best player, most important player. But let's not forget what happened. Not only on the road to the NBA Finals, but when they got there. It took an incredible 4-bounce game winner in Game 7 against the Philadelphia 76ers to do that. And of course, they beat Giannis and the Bucks fair and square, yeah. But when they got to the championship, Steph was hurt. KD was hurt and missed. He only played like 11 minutes of the entire finals with a ruptured Achilles. Klay Thompson got hurt. Boogie was not 100%. It's just the team broke down. Now, why do I ask, is Kawhi Leonard worth the 4 years, $176 million for the Clippers? What do you get out of Kawhi? You get when he's on the floor, Kawhi Leonard is still an incredible player, still probably arguably one of, if not the best two-way player in the game. But you're getting someone that is not going to play all of this or the whole season. While, yes, he does play some of his best basketball, or he does play his best basketball in the playoffs, you're not really getting a leader. You're not getting a person that can galvanize a team. You're not getting a person that can galvanize like if y'all are down, as we saw. You're not going to get someone that can rally. You're not getting a real vocal leader. And then the thing that I question most is we saw what the Clippers look like with Kawhi Leonard out. Now, no. Do not hear me say, I'm not saying that the Clippers can win a championship without Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying that at all. The Clippers cannot win a championship with Kawhi Leonard. If Paul George is your best player, you're not winning a championship. That's no offense to Paul George. Paul George is still an incredible player. At his best, he's still a top 10 player, arguably. But you're not winning a championship if Paul George is your best player. You can win a championship if Kawhi Leonard is your best player, but you cannot win a championship if Paul George is your best player. However, you also, and it's weird, as good as Kawhi Leonard is, and he is good, he is great, he is arguably a top 5 player in the league. Kawhi Leonard, how do I say it, man? Kawhi Leonard's ceiling and floor is incredible. when you think about it. When Kawhi Leonard's at his best, and of course his team around him is playing at his best, they're a championship caliber team. That's why a lot of people picked the Clippers when they first got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. That's why a lot of people picked the Clippers last year. But we've also seen the floor. We've also seen Kawhi Leonard on the team that has was down or blew a 3-1 lead to blew a 3-1 lead. We also saw the team that was forced 7 games to the Dallas Mavericks. We also saw the team without Kawhi Leonard that looked incredible against Utah this year and that damn near beat the Phoenix Suns to make it to the Western Conference. We get to the NBA Finals. The first, a team that made it to the Western Conference Finals first year ever in their existence. So, while yes, Kawhi Leonard's talent warrants a 4-year, $176 million extension deal, has his production for the Clippers warranted that? Because the Clippers didn't bring him to this team to just be okay. They didn't bring him to this team to just make it to the Western Conference Finals. They didn't bring him to this team to keep getting his face blown in by Luka Doncic. Like, they brought him to this team to win a championship and compete for a championship. And I do think that they can compete for a championship, or they are a championship caliber type team without him. But let me say this. I think that in order to justify this deal for the Clippers and for Kawhi Leonard, he has to win, at least make it to a championship. And I think that that's tougher than ever. Like I said, Golden State's going to be back healthy. Of course, the Lakers, and you see what they're doing. Utah's still up there. Denver's still up there. Luka and Dallas is still up there. Phoenix is still up there. So, to me, I understand why you give him this contract. I understand. It's Kawhi Leonard. And you didn't blow up the damn team to get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George just to see him go in like 2 years. I understand that. But I think that Kawhi Leonard has to win a championship, or at least make it to a championship, in order for this deal to be okay. Because if you look at the end of this deal, if you look at the end of this deal and you look at the end of Paul George's deal, and you look up, they don't even make it to the NBA Finals, then you can argue that this was probably one of the worst deals, not just this one, but one of the worst transactions in NBA history, because they moved mountains. My fault. They moved mountains, man. Draft picks, players. They moved mountains for these 2 players.